Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. We're again in the Land Rover, and this is going to be a how-to guide to repair or replace the stalk, light stalk, which is quite a common problem on these Land Rovers where they fail. If I turn the engine on, turn the lights on, I have to maintain pressure on the light on the stalk, light stalk, to allow the lights to come on. I'm not too sure if that picks up on the camera. Again, if I want to put the LED headlights on, push the stalk forwards, they go off and there's no positive click in the stalk. So you see all the lights are off at the moment and it's not working. So in order to address this problem, I've got a spare part, but this means taking the steering hub off, the steering shroud, and then we'll get into the interior of here. It's quite a complicated job, I think, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem and relatively easy to complete in a couple of hours. Also, the part itself is a genuine Lucas part. I'll get that out of the box in a minute, and you'll see it's only about £20, so it's not an expensive job if you can do it yourself. Well, here's the part itself. You can get this from most 4x4 specialists online, and it's actually a genuine Lucas part. So this is original OEM. There's the part number there, and we take it out of the box. You'll see what we need to replace. So there we go. So there's that's where the steering column comes through. You've got the indicator cancelling bevel on there. This is the new stalk, and it's far easier, I think, to replace this part than it is to try and repair and probably be unreliable for the ever future. So I'm going to need to remove the other stalks, the windscreen wiper one, and attach here the one for the lights here. So a little bit of a disassembly before we actually get into it, and then rebuild this part on here. That's the click that I'm talking about. It's quite a positive forward and backward click to turn the lights on and off. That is not actually working on my vehicle. These contacts wear out. I think it sees a full 12 volts across there. So when when you pull the flash forwards, the two contacts meet at the front here. This is what it should look like, and this is what happened to it, where the plastic had fused together to the contact. And then when you push the stalk backwards, it stays and makes the contact at the rear. So there we go. So let's get the nut off, the hub and the shroud around the column, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it now. Now this nut on here is set to a torque, and we'll look at that torque setting when we come to replace it, refit it later on. That came off relatively easy. Not too sure whether that was really set to a torque, but too easy for my liking. Anyway, we'll take the nut off. There's the nut. And here you can just see that we have a washer, which I'm going to remove in there. There's the washer. Put that down there. Okay, now to get the hub off the spline, I might need a puller. See how easy that's going to come off. Yeah, I'm going to need a puller to get it off. So I've got a bearing puller to help that slide out of there. It's on a spline shaft. It's going to need some persuasion. So I'll just refit the steering wheel. I'm hoping that actually, rather than using a bearing puller, I can pull it off with the steering wheel, this optimal hub. So if I just give that a tap. No, doesn't seem to want to. Well, that's not going to work. So it might be bearing puller time. Right, so that was a bit of a fiddle. I've got the bearing puller on there now. I've got these tissues or this fine paper just to protect the jaws, because this is aluminium, and any pressure on here could just damage the aluminium. I don't want it to be scratched or looking naff after I've pulled it off. But anyway, that's ready to be pulled off now. I'll just tighten these on here so they don't slip off. That was a bit of a palaver. So now I tighten this down, hopefully it shall pull off. Yeah, that seems to have done the trick. So again, I shall remove it all together. There we go. That's off. Looks like it survived. So when I removed it, it sits on the shaft down there, the spline, and I think these pins actually cancel the bevel on there, the indicators, when it spins round. Okay, now the task is to get the boots out, make sure the ignition is turned off, keys out. That can be removed, that boot down there. From the surround. Like so. Again, the one on the washers. And now, I think it's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to remove from the shroud itself. Okay, now, so I've got all the screws out the shroud. I've just checked around the side here, and the ignition barrel does not keep it secure. So actually now it should come off in 2 halves. I'm hoping that this hasn't been glued on here for some strange reason. Okay, so it's loose. All the screws are out. Does it slide off? No. Just wondering why this doesn't come off and around the back here. I know. What have I done? I haven't removed these 2 screws. What an idiot. Right, so not all the screws are out. That's why it doesn't come out. Pretty obvious, Richard. Well done. Okay. The last 2 screws I now need to remove from the front. I've made it difficult for myself now because A, I haven't got a Phillips screwdriver that fits, and B, it's a bit wibbly wobbly. I'll be back with a Phillips screwdriver. Right, Phillips screwdriver in the hand. Let's go. Let's get in there. This one off. Easy. Last 2 to come out then. This one. And this one. And goes a screw on the floor to reveal the 2 halves. Good. That's it. A bit more. Where's the other one? Screw drops out, bottom comes off, top comes off there, slides out the top with a bit of luck. Ooh, lovely. There we go, a bit of dirt on that. Give that a clean and wipe in a minute. Pick up the screw that went on the floor. And now we have the steering column exposed with the bracketry holding on the wires. Closer look now. So we can see there's a washer on here that holds this on. Maybe two bolts that hold in the switch for the washer. That's got to come off there. It's like a bolt there that goes there, through there, holds it in place. Just need to unclip the electrical connectors. There, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll try and remove the metal plate that's holding on the bracket that's holding on all the switches. Okay, let's do a bit more. Then we're now detached. Now what's remaining, I think, is this clamp holding that on, well, away it comes. That wasn't so bad, was it? You can see now, this is the part that's failed. Difficult to see really, whether it's exposed, but it's just not making a clicking noise and holding it in place. Okay, so I need to remove, these actually are bespoke or specialist billet aluminium furnishings I need to remove. There's a grub screw on the back here. I think this just clips off, so I need to remove that carefully with some, it might just pop off. Yeah, I need to remove that carefully. All right, so then I'm going to take this onto the bench, I think now. We'll get the components off here and then fit the new switch to it. I've got a 3/4 inch spanner to get this nut off here. This is for my light switch. There we go, there's a nut. Nice brass nut. Most things are, if not everything, is going to be imperial on an old Land Rover. This is, even though for 2006 model TD5, there's that out. And now this is the more complicated one, which is going to be this washer stalk switch assembly. I normally hate doing this, but I'm going to use pliers to try and just loosen these nuts off here. There you go, it's not too bad. Do it gently. Again, they're imperial. 6 or 7mm won't fit, so just unscrewing them like this does the job until they're finger tight, and they'll come out. That's out. Okay, so that's loose, but it's not out. And there's this, what do you call them, split washer, sort of one-shot use washers that's holding that in. They are, they splay out and they hold the washer in place. Now, if I'm careful enough, I can probably reuse it. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so if we just remove it gently off here. There we go. Okay, I think that's off. There you go, there it is. Alright, we'll see if we can reuse that one. Maybe not. Okay. That's the washer stalk out. Now this now is essentially redundant, other than getting this billet aluminium, a billet component off. Okay, so we've refit the switch, the light switch here, and the window on this side. I've put the washer back on there, and it works. Seems to work really well. I've also replaced the end piece here, which is for the horn. So when we push that in, the horn should beep. And now it's time to refit the bracket now back onto the steering column. So in reverse order, I'm going to keep my wires down to one side, move them over there. In reverse order, slide it down the steering column. There we go. And then tighten as necessary. So we just put the screw through, tighten it up there. And that's just held in place by that screw. There's the blue bevel there. Lights, okay. At this point now, all you can do is connect up again our connectors, electrical connectors, like so. 2 on this side. And the lights are on. And here. So they're all in there, tuck those underneath there. On goes the shroud. So we had the top bit first. Plastic surround. Bottom one just goes underneath like so. and then the screws will go in place. Okay, so now I've got the black plastic steering shroud back on and fitted. I put the rubber gaiters in all of the stalks. It's time to put the Optimil steering boss back on again. Now, it was a bit skewed when it came off. I just got to make sure those two split pins there line up with the blue plastic indicator canceller there. So that will go on there quite nicely. It won't go on otherwise. I'm going to go about there. That's about where the steering wheel was, I believe. And I'm going to use a rubber mallet. What have I done with my rubber mallet? I'll put it somewhere. It's down the floor. Nice and soft. That'll do. Okay, and the nut will just bring it in. Now, close it up. Okay, so the washer will go on there. Little washer that was in there. It goes against the bearing. And the nut, which I think is a 22mm nut, needs to be refit. Now, I'm now going to torque it up to 30 Newton meters, which is actually 22 foot-pounds. I've got my torque wrench, and we're just going to tighten it up now so it goes the right way. So it's 22mm socket. There you go, and that's good. And always make sure the key's out actually, because then the column will lock up. It doesn't have to be really tight, this one, because it's got splines. All it needs to do is just hold the wheel on and obviously not come loose. And always remember to take the tension off the spring in your torque wrench, because that will prolong its life and its calibration. It doesn't put tension on the spring when you're not using it. So that's done. The wheel can go back on, and we're almost there. In fact, we are there. Just need to test the lights now, and away we go. So key in neutral, turn the engine on, put the lights on, and we can see, hopefully you can pick that up, on the garage door you can see the lights are on, headlights are good, and horn works, windscreen wipers work, yeah, we're in business. So if you like this video, please subscribe, please keep watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for now.